Hello there, this is supposedly mine. Today I have a new project I'm starting. This is a pair of Kellogg telephones. They are early 1900s, so they're also called farmers' telephones. They were used during the telegraph era or shortly thereafter. They contain Stromberg Carlson dynamos and condenser. The transmitter-receiver pair are manufactured by Kellogg. You can see there, and it's got their name brand on them. And I'm considering repairing these because the dynamo does work. Actually, you can see that there is something working electrically inside in order to generate electricity and transmit it to your receiver. The bells there, that's a relay essentially. The receivers down here, the transmitters here. They're very expensive in my opinion, just because you're not going to see too many of them in working condition. The fact that these two have something working electrically tells me that I should do my best to restore them. And my goal is to get these two communicating. That would be best case scenario. I don't really know how they work yet. I've heard they're fairly simple electrically, which is great, because if they were anything like today's modems and phone lines, I probably would not be able to get this working. Kind of trace out where they go now before I start taking this back panel off. Unfortunately, this one was painted, so I'm going to remove all that paint in the process of restoring this one. This one, thankfully, is original, and it could use a cleaning, obviously. Don't know what that is. This was incredible. They're actually using hinges to transmit the signal from the receiver. So out here on the receiving end, we've got the green and the whitish orange wire there that hook up to the receiver, and comes out through that hole. The green wire runs here. It is soldered to this, I don't know what metal it is yet, but it's probably like a nickel-plated steel or something. And then the other end is soldered to a wire that runs along the length here to this battery post. And the same thing happens over here, the other end of the receiver wire. Separate hinge, so they're not connected, they're not accidentally conducting. And it transmits down to that wire there, which goes to the back side of the board. And it runs up, where does it run? See, it looks like it runs up a little bit towards the center, so it must come out down there somewhere, one of those 4 wires.
Crashed my car, I was 17. My mother in the seat riding next to me. The things I've learned from a broken mirror. How a face can change when a heart knows fear. For all the things my eyes have seen, the best by far is you. If I could fly, then I would know what life looks like from up above and down below. I keep you safe, I keep you dry. Don't be afraid, Cecilia, I'm the satellite, and you're the sky. Cafe crawled through Amsterdam. Been around the world with a punk.
I never used plastic insulation like this back in the day.
Played Japan. I've been knocked down, I got up again. For all the places I have been, I'm no place without you. If I could fly, then I would know what life looks like from up above and down below. I keep you safe, I keep you dry. Don't be afraid, Cecilia, I'm the satellite, and you're the sky. I'm the satellite, and you're the sky. For all the things my hands have held, the best by far is you. If I could fly, then I would know what life looks like from up above and down below. I keep you safe, I keep you dry. Don't be afraid, Cecilia, I'm the satellite, and you're the sky. And you're the sky. I'm the satellite, and you're the sky. And you're the sky.
Alright, so now I've gone back and taken beeswax and I've dripped it and putty knifed it into these grooves where the wires conduct between the different sections of the phone. These are the two primary signal terminals that conduct to the front. And then I've taken some sandpaper and gone over it to make sure that it's pretty flat. I mean, there's a few areas where it's a little shallow, but all of the bare wire is covered. And I'm ready for some stain and then some varnish. Alright, so this next telephone is in much worse shape. You can see it's been painted. I've taken off the whatever it would be like a note stand. So you can see it here. It's been detached, so I'm going to try paint stripping it first. And hopefully it'll adapt to the other one, which is in better shape. But if not, I'll just make another table for the other one, put it back on this one. Paint's going to have to come off, but before I can do that, I got to get off the receiver, got to detach a bunch of things, mask a bunch of stuff. I'm not entirely sure how this is going to work because unfortunately the paint has gone underneath certain edges. It's probably wicking underneath the various joints, and it's probably covering a lot of delicate areas, including the transmitter handle, the holes around the lock, the area around the crank. So I'm going to have to do quite a bit of paint stripping on this one. So I'm going to try to remove all of the critical components first. For instance, this receiver, it's got some rust on it and the original paint's almost gone, so I might end up paint stripping it as well and just painting it black again after I'm done. But areas like this I can probably just remove the relay or the ringer.
Shining like a work of art, hanging on a wall of stars. Are you what I think you are? You're my side. just a little out of reach.
Alright, so this second telephone has some interesting problems with it. Looks like some sort of dye has been spilled onto the front of it. I don't know how the heck they did that, because this thing would be wall mounted normally and there's a shelf on top of it. But there's some dye up here as well. I can't seem to get out, so I'll hopefully be able to cover that up with the dye, with the stain in it. And then the other thing is this receiver is very rusted at the bottom and inside, and I don't think I want to even try undoing these bolts without first degreasing it or derusting it a bit. So I'm going to go throw this thing into a vat of evapo-rust